It's the 31st of March. It's also Friday. As the last day of the month, I wanted to go back over and look at I guess my month of watches, what I was wearing, and how things went, and which one I liked, and all that other kind of stuff. I entered into the month. I was wearing this quite a bit. This is my. Let me see if I can get you down here. Ah. Yeah, this is. I've owned a good number of 62 MASs. This one is. I don't know. This one is. It's just. It has enough uniqueness that I like it. It was a one owner watch that lived a kind of a one owner life. And the original owner's personality sort of shows. This watch. It came to me. Pardon me. It came to me from India. It was missing the bezel, but I looked over the pictures and I was like, well, the loom's original. All that stuff is, good. I could tell it was original. I couldn't quite figure out the frosted surface on top of the markers. When it got here, I did actually figure that out. And the answer for that was the guy got a little bit of moisture damage. And so rather than, I guess, risk more of it, he opened this up and he painted over the markers with this kind of satin clear coat. You can see in patches where it's come off. You can see the shine underneath. And whatever it is on there. Whew. Anyway, I really like this 62 MAS. It's the first one I've ever owned, that feels like mine. I've owned a lot of these, and, this one's really worn. But I like it. It has a really good feeling. It's a good feeling. Sometimes you have a tool or something that you use, or type of tool you use, and sometimes you pick up one and you can just kind of feels good. It's right. And this is one of those watches for me. Not to sound too, woogie. Anyway, my 62 MAS. This was, I think though, I took it off shortly thereafter. And I was wearing this for a long, long time. For me. 6117 8000 from 1968. This is the first Navigator. The main difference is being it doesn't have any kind of a internal rotating bezel like the later ones. And it has an A movement, so it does not hack. Also, I have not been wearing this, so it ran out of power. Yeah, this watch fought me for like 2 years. Fought me and fought me and fought me. But I finally got it nailed together, and I'm actually delighted with the result. And despite everything, the movement came out just... I'm very proud of the movement, but man, it took me 2 years to hunt down the problem, which was in only the balance was perfect with great amplitude, clean signal. In dialed down, was it dialed down? No, it was dialed down. Sometimes, every now and then, there wasn't enough clearance between the wheel and the pallet bridge, and the balance would stop. But it was super intermittent. I just couldn't find it. I was looking at hand spacing, at crystals, but I got that fixed. And gosh, it's a beautiful watch, and it runs beautifully. This one, I it's a good watch. I'm happy with it. I wore it a lot. Then I got this dial and case and stuff in a watch part slot. I don't have the correct case back for it. This is the putative fourth MAC-V SOG, unless you want to expand to the early sport divers. But this one uses the same dial pattern and color and loom color and typeface as the other MAC-Vs. The main difference is it has It has what I call a bow-legged case or a cowpoke case. It is a 6106, not a 6119. Come on. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. I like the color. Sometimes, a lot of times, especially like on the 6619 ones, they go super, super green, like wicked loom greenness. And this one didn't. And that's the original handset. That's the original loom. I don't have the correct case back. I wish I did. There's no documentation for this thing being MACV. I would have a hard time believing that there wasn't at least one of these out there, considering that this style was worn by them in 3 other iterations. I did have one person tell me that their dad had been issued one of these in Vietnam. Unfortunately, I don't have that person's contact information. I'm sure it's in some, virtual mailbox somewhere, but that's a cool watch. I like that watch a lot. There's that bow-legged cowpoke case. But for me, the winner of the month was this, for me, quite surprising piece. It still kind of amazes me. Hang on a second. Hang on. But for me, the surprise champion for the month, I really did not expect to be so taken with this watch. I haven't changed the minute, the sub-register hands. It just, it's odd to me that I didn't expect to like this as much as I did. So what this was, for those of you who are just joining us, is I'm reorganizing all my stuff. I'm moving the watch bench around, and so I'm looking at a lot of my crap. And I found this, which was a case, an NOS case and dial that was not yet branded for a Valjoux 7733. And I bought it. It was NOS on eBay. It wasn't terribly expensive. And I finally got around to building it. So this is the handset is from a 1950s Bulova, and I re-loomed. Not 100% sure about the color on the loom. I wanted it a little lighter than the dial, so it stood out some. But I love the shape, because the shape mimics the case. I think the sub-register hands, they're too teeny. They're too skinny. I'm going to have to put bigger ones in there. And the last thing is, I cannot find a bracelet this thing looks good on. But those are my complaints. I love this watch. It's so like clean on the wrist. I mean, it's really, really clean on the wrist. It's a beautiful piece. I can't even tell you what I love so much about it. And I seriously did not think I would like it as much as I do. Just sort of the flat geometry of the case and that crystal just popping up. It doesn't look like, 70s to me. A lot of these 70s watches, they were just kind of like weird, brutalist, chunky things. But not this one. I don't know, it has just enough grace and just enough elegance. Oops, sorry, I keep blinding you. It's a nice wearable thing. Movement's gorgeous. Valjoux 7733, totally worth doing. It turns out that this dial and case were used by a bunch of different brands and different styles. And so it was common enough. This was the nicest one I found, though. Isn't that neat? Okay. I think that's pretty much that was what I was wearing. Greatest thing that I got in. This is a good find. And I bought this from the original owner. Bought this from the original owner. And I'm considering actually just leaving it. It's not being hurt being like this. It's safe and it's dry. And I was looking at this and I'm like, how much longer are we going to get? How much longer are we going to get to find these? Sure, 10, 20, maybe even 30 years it might be able to come up with them, but to find one clean and original and untouched, I don't know. I know it seems like kind of a crime, right? Have a 6105 that you're keeping around for like a museum specimen. I know that's wacky, but it's like, I don't know. I've always loved getting something in this condition, and I don't know. I'll listen to my heart. I've done it a couple times more. This is the Aussie. Hang on a second. Okay, so this is the 6139 8020, also called the Rally. This one is in really, really good original condition, and it's unusual because it has the higher quality Stellux Australasian version of this bracelet. The standard American one is a much more lightly built, dare I say, flimsier bracelet than this, and the holes are open. In here you have this combination of brush and that media blasted finish, which is my favorite Seiko finish. But it's made by Stellux. You can see the all flat clasp. It's one of the cool things about Stellux is you can move both sides. So you can actually move the pins whichever way you wish, so the clasp is sitting directly where you need it to be. It's a nice little feature. That's unrestored. That's original. I'm not even sure I've opened this. This belonged to a dear friend of mine, Mr. Sean Cody. A blessed memory. And I think, I've got one more. This watch, I've never restored. I got this watch on eBay. I paid, I think it was $147, $137. Would have been like the 2008, 2009 range. It came in, I remember it came in, the mail came in, and it was after work, and I had taken this out of its box, and I was just looking at it idly in the, while I was in the kitchen talking to Sabrina. And I was looking at it, I was like, wow, that's a really cool bracelet, but I didn't really think about it. Pardon me. Until I started really looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, this bracelet, this thing is, I'd say it's original to the bracelet, to the watch. It's a hidden link Stellux. I had never seen one in person before. And I looked at it and I was like, because it looks like chiclets. I was like, oh yeah, and I just started calling it the chiclet bracelet. And that's where that name came from. Scout's honor. But I got this in and I was looking at it and I thought it was going to be a resist. I don't know why. But then I got it and I was looking at it. I was like, holy cow, it's a proof. Sure enough, it's 6139, 6000 proof, A movement with the notch case, two-piece sweep with the correct tomato red that goes with the blue, with the type specimen of the Stellux Chiclet 6139 and et al. Bracelet. And this is the first one. I was the first person to say that these came on these watches, and we found advertising later on. But yeah, I found this. And that's one of the reasons I've kept this just like that. It's funny. Back in the old days when I bought this, I mean, this one, looks pretty good, right? But it's got a few pieces of wear, right? Hazy a little bit. This was considered middle of the road example. It's okay, the lume is decent. You should be able to find one with better casework. These days, what a treasure. We didn't appreciate what we had. Isn't that always the way it goes? And introducing the official watch for me for April, my poor man's 62 MAS. Every time I wear this watch, I'm blown away by it's sort of the beautiful purposefulness. I'm getting tongue-tied just looking at it. Purposefulness of it, sort of the balance of the elements. It's a nice manly watch, clean. yeah, it's just, and again, it's got that bead blasted finish that I love. Cool thing about these, of course, is that they are merely a rebranded Heuer. Heuer made these for this LeJour company, which was, I'm still not entirely clear on what it was. They were sold out of the back of like camera magazines that had been like Xeroxed in someone's basement. Most of the time, they're black PVD plated. You know, this sort of that soft black stuff. It looks terrible after a while. This one is one of the rare, to my knowledge, rare ones that's the the original bead blasted. That's even the original bracelet. This one's in good condition. All that loom is original. More's the pity, because I'd love to wear this at night, but loom is dead. It's got a Valjoux 7750. I just love everything about the watch. Because, I mean, the dial printing is superlative. It's such a clean and purposeful design. And it's crazy, and I have to give them props every time. If I was designing this watch, I never would have used that slim hour and minute handset. I would just think I wouldn't have made the choice, and I would have made the wrong one. That handset is just, whoever made this is just, they really did a good job. It's a great design. So this is what I'm going into April with, and I'm pretty happy about that. So that's it. Thank you so very, very much.